Hello, here's how we do quick rounding with the shortcut. So we're going to take a number and round it to a certain place. And then anything before that place you're going to keep. Anything after that place turns into zeros. And the question is just, is that place going to stay the same or go up? And that's it. So let's do a few together. Round 24,670 to the nearest 100. So first we need to find the place that we're rounding to. In this case, the hundreds place is the 6. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Circle the place you're rounding to. Grab this circle, click with one finger, and drag with the other to come circle the 6. So, with quick rounding, this 6 is either going to stay a 6 because we'll go down to 600, or it'll go up to a 700. That's it. It's never going to go down to a 5. If we go down, the 6 stays the same. Everything before the 6 stays there. So this 2 and 4 are not going to affect our answer, but we need to keep them around. And then when you're rounding, you're making something nice and rounded off and even, and everything after is turning into a 0. Okay, so these stay the same. These guys turn into zeros. This will either be a 6 or a 7, and we use the power number to figure out if we're going to round up or round down. So underline the power number. It is the next door neighbor to the right. It is the 7 in this number. So we're going to grab this and underline the 7. Okay. Next thing is to decide if we're rounding up or down. The 7 is what helps us decide what is happening to this 6. If this 7 is 5 or more, let it soar, meaning we round up. If this 7 was 4 or less, let it rest, meaning we round down. In this case, it is 5 or more, so we're going to let it soar, meaning we are rounding up. So grab the circle and indicate that you're rounding up. Now, the 7 helped us decide that, but the 7 actually turns into a 0. So once the power number helps you out, get rid of it. It turns into a 0. It served its purpose. Goodbye. The question is just with this 6 here. This is the only number that's going to go up or down. So we keep the 24 in our answer. If we were rounding down, the 6 would be a 6, but we're rounding up, so the 6 turns into a 7. And then everything else turns into a 0. And this is our answer. 24,670 rounded to the nearest 100 is 24,700. We rounded up. Let's do 2 more. Round 1,879,348 to the nearest 100. Step 1, circle the place you are rounding to. In this case, we're rounding to the nearest 100. So grab this and we're going to circle the hundreds place. Now we are going to underline the power number. So remember, the power number is the next door neighbor. In this case, it's the 4. And I call it the power number because this is the one, the digit, that actually helps us decide if we're rounding down or up. All right. Remember, all of this does not affect our answer, but it has to stay. So you already know in your answer that you're going to have a 1, an 8, a 7, and a 9. That has to be there no matter what. The 3, if we're rounding down, this 3 will go down to a 3 or stay a 3. If we're rounding up, it'll go up to a 4. These 2 digits will turn into zeros no matter what. This power number is what helps us decide if we're rounding up or down. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. It is a 4, so we are rounding down. Rounding down does not mean that this 3 goes down to a 2. It means the 3 stays a 3. Because the number is still getting smaller because we're taking this 48 away and turning it into zeros. So we'll end up with 300 here. Okay, so we typed in what we had before. When you get to the digit you're rounding to, we rounded down so it stays a 3, and then everything after it are zeros. So 1,879,348 rounded to the nearest 100 is 1,879,300. Last one, and then you can try the rest on your own. Round 126,870 to the nearest 10,000. The place we're rounding to, it would be the 10,000ths place. So in this case, that is the 2. So we are going to circle the 2. Now it says, underline the power number. The power number is the next door neighbor, which is a 6. So again, everything before the circled number will stay. So this 1 is not going to affect our answer, but we will start our answer with that 1. The 2 will either be a 2 or a 3. So if we round down, it goes down to a 2. If we round up, it goes up to a 3. Everything after is going to turn into zeros. The power number helps us decide if we're rounding up or down. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. 6 is 5 or more, so we are rounding up, which means that the 2 turns into a 3. And what happens to all these digits? They turn into zeros. Make sure you count them 1, 2, 3, 4, and don't forget the comma. 1, 2, 3, 4. 126,870 rounded to the nearest 10,000 is 130,000. And that's how you round quickly using the shortcut of finding the number you're rounding to, or the digit, and then using that power digit to decide if we're going up or down, and then turning all of these into zeros.